Hello, in this demonstration I'm going to talk about the project management facilities in LAMP. As you'll notice here in the selection at the top, we've logged into a division called Selling People, is a brand that we have, and set up a project called the old CRM campaigns. And here's the list of the projects we've got, and because we've only got one selected we can only see one project. I've already got the project open here, and the project is logically a group of a series of campaigns, and here we see all of the campaigns, which are a series of white paper, email and web-based inquiry campaigns, because that's basically all of the old ones from an old system. So the project has a number of capabilities. So first of all, we see the resources allocated to that project. So I could allocate a resource by clicking create. This relates to the system resources, or the resources that are set up, and I could say that Julian, which is me, is going to be on this project as a project manager. And it could be as simple as that, and that will then give me, or whoever this is, access to this project when they log in. The point about this is that we don't confuse people. We're giving them access to things that not so much that they're not supposed to see, but they don't need to see. It keeps things simple. If we're going to manage time on this, we could say, well, my internal rate is 100 and my rate to the market is £300. I'm an employee rather than a contractor. I'm being paid on a daily basis, and I expect to do 5 days in a month on this one, and we can have descriptions and so on. So as I save this contact, we can now see that in the list of resources. I'm going to quickly add another one. I'll add in Christian. He's going to be a contractor who does 10 days a month on this project, and I'll save him. And now we can see we've got two resources. Now if they do the days that is expected on the project, this would be the revenue that come from those two people. And if we go to our general tab, we'll see that that's actually been calculated up here to the profit figure actually, and the revenue and the cost. So we're doing a little bit of P&L and managing the resources on the project. We've seen the campaigns. The other things that we do at project level is data sourcing, and this is where I load data in, because typically we'll pull in data, and we can see we've already got two data files loaded there. And if I click on here, I can create a new one. This will take us to a system where we give it the name of a file, and we are using a pre-import set of settings here that we've used before, and we'll see it's loaded up the data into the storage area, and then we can set some of the properties. This is some of the unique features that are described in the unique settings, unique features of LAMP, one of the other videos. I'm just going to fill this in quickly. These fields have been filled in now. We'll just note a couple of things, is that we're noting the license, and this is our data effectively, so there's no license, but if you purchase later data, it keeps track of the license here. We're loading these in a telemarketing grade 6 leads, which is our own nomenclature we'll describe some other time. The relationship is that as a lead, they've opted in, it sources a data load. So we're very careful at keeping track where the data came from in LAMP. I'm now going to load that data. We need to do a matching of the fields, which I've done here. Once this is completed, I go back to the project and look at my data source tab, and I can see I've actually got two here for test purposes, but this is the data. If I open up this data source record, I can now see this audit record that effectively describes the data that we've loaded, and also we can see down here the prospects and the contacts that it's created as a result of that load. If we go into one of these contacts, we can see the details. We can see that it's got a grade 6 here on the grading, and if we go to the lead source details, this again for each contact record tells us where the data came from. So it's very secure and auditable to understand what's happening in the LAMP system. We'll go back now to the project, and I'll now look at target groups, and I'll create a new target group. I'm going to call this target group old CRM leads, and we'll just have it as all of the existing data. Now when I've created the target group holder, I then click on select, and I can then select either manually from the list, or I can set criteria such as I want the ones from a data load, and this will just be the data related to this particular division. So I'll do that, and I will select all those. Sorry, I'll select all of these. This has now created a series of contacts, so I can see I've got some duplicates there that I might want to remove, and they can be used later on for email marketing. Okay, I'm back at the project now, and I'm now going to look briefly at sales items, and I'm going to create a sales item, and this is something that I'm going to sell within this project in these series of campaigns. So that might be a consulting day or a particular product. I can just give it a, let's just call it a consulting day. This is a revenue item. I'll give it a description. I'll say it's in sterling. It's got a cost price of 100 and we sell it for 300 and it's not commissionable, and I'll save that. We do this at the project level such that when we're actually involved in the sales process and we're creating opportunities and we're saying what we're going to sell within an opportunity, we only have available, so we don't confuse people, the sales items that we've defined here. The final thing I'm just going to switch to is the timesheet, and time is also associated with projects and campaigns, so we can keep track of time and the activity by grades and number of calls or whatever it is that we want to track activity by. I'll go back to my project again. So we've looked at time, we can also see we've got documents here associated with the campaign and project, we've got sales items, we looked at the data sources, we've built target groups, we've got a whole series of campaigns associated with this, and we've got resources. We've now set everything up now to get ready and execute a series of campaigns, and that will be covered in the campaign video. Thank you.